Welcome to Crosstown Cardboard, episode 47, the John Lynch legendary safety on the Broncos, number 47, that is. I'm Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the sports broadcaster down south in Clemson and Gamecock territory. And Craig is the high school math teacher in New York City, but he's from Long Island. And I guess it's a city term that we're going to use to go with our episode. After deliberation, Craig, with you, myself, and your wife, we came up with relax or re-up, ? As far as our mentality toward post-national dealings with cards. And I'm going to need you to explain the relax or re-up a little bit more.
Okay, so relax is pretty self-explanatory. We came off the biggest show in the world. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of transactions. So you could take a victory lap, or you can relax, where maybe you take a break from the cards for a week. Or you could re-up. What do we mean by re-up? Well, per Urban Dictionary, posted by Jesus on November 2nd, 2003, re-up means to go out and replenish your drug supply. Used in a sentence, we've only got a little bud left. We're about to go re-up. Now, obviously, this being a family-friendly program, we're not talking about drugs here. We're talking about cards. Yes. So is your approach after the biggest show of the universe to relax and take a step back, or to keep on going and re-up and buying more cards? And I think you and I have differed a little bit. So we're going to get into it.
Yes. Well said. And really excited to talk about this and a few other things that we've noticed some of our buddies in the Wolfpack talking about, and would just like to weigh in on too. So let's start it off, and it'll give away where I stand on my mentality after the National as far as relaxing or re-upping. Where do you stand, and what are some of the things that you've done recently since the show, just now, only a week and a half later?
Well, right after the show, the show ended. Well, I'm completely losing track of the days at this point, but the week we got back from Chicago. So for me, I went to Chicago Thursday, Friday. I had my wedding Saturday, Sunday. I was home on Monday, and then I went to 3 different card shops 3 consecutive days. So just a few days after National, I went to a card shop on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. Obviously, I have some new pickups. I did some buying online. And for me, it's just the fact that I am on summer, and even though I'm still working, it's obviously not my regular schedule. And I know once September hits, I'm not going to be able to be as active in cards as I normally am. So I said, You know what? I'm off. Let me have some fun. Let me go check out what the shops have. Keep this momentum from National going. So I have a slew of pickups in front of me. And within the pickups, I coined a new phrase that I'm going to use that we're going to get into as well. And so a wide variety of pickups, some stuff I'm going to keep, some stuff I'm going to use for trade, and we'll get into it.
That's great. And when you say your wedding, it's not, just to clarify for anybody who doesn't know, it's not you flying in day of your own wedding from the National to get married. You were attending a friend's wedding. I just want to make that clear so people know you're a loving husband.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. Can you imagine anyone ever proposed at National? What a scene that would be.
Yeah, that would be. What booth do you think that would be at? Golden for the auction ring type of thing, or whatnot for the surprise? The surprise instant.
A lot of noises and stuff, celebrations. Yeah, I'm getting like whatnot vibe from a National wedding proposal.
The people celebrate by acting like they pulled like a Trevor Lawrence 1-of-1 rookie when she proposes. They like to go crazy. Nice. All right. So, what have you re-upped with? You had a fat stack of cards that you showed me.
I do have a fat stack of cards. So it started with, I went to my neighborhood shop, Cards and Coffee, powered by Bleecker Trading. I have an amazing story to share as well. So I went last Tuesday, just walked on in. The whole crew was there. Emily, Chris, Aaron, Ben, my people. So it's like you're going in, you're home, you're with your friends and your family. So I took everything that I had with me at National that I wasn't able to move, that wasn't part of my PC plan, and said, I'm going to go trade this in for some stuff that I like. So,
wow.
My haul from that trade is I ended up with a 2022 Prism Messi in a silver PSA 9.
Mm-hmm. Now, are these PC cards, or just like cards you like more that you might move on from eventually?
Well, part of for me, the whole re-up plan was coming back from national, learning that I really feel comfortable in this soccer space. And if I want to keep going, I need new cards. I need more soccer cards just to have some skin in the game.
Okay.
So I always pick up the type of stuff where if I can't move it, I'm certainly not mad about having some Messi Prism World Cup silvers in my collection.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
also picked up a 2019 Topps Chrome Messi Speckle Refractor, and I'm actually watching a similar auction end in 8 seconds just to see where this comp
8
lays.
seconds. Are you sure you want to keep explaining that?
2
Oh,
seconds.
you're not bidding. You're not bidding on it.
I'm
You're
not
just checking
bidding. I
on the
just
comp.
want to see where the card ends up.
Okay. I
I
don't want
also
this
picked
podcast
up.
to get in the way of more.
I appreciate it. I also picked up a Clyde Drexler 2010 limited 2-color patch out of 10.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool. I like this one.
The glide. Yeah.
I picked up a flawless Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, see, that's it's a dual patch with auto. What is that numbered out of?
Numbered out of 15.
15, but the silver with the Colts uniform really looks great.
2-color, game worn, obviously, on-card autograph, Adam Vinatieri. And part of this was the new phrase that I like to coin, situational buying.
Ah.
What does situational buying mean, Carmine? It means buying a card knowing you're going to be in a certain place or a certain venue. So I am going to a wedding in Indianapolis later this month.
Right.
So I bought this Colts Adam Vinatieri patch auto knowing, hey, maybe I go to a shop there. Maybe I could use this as trade bait.
And you actually, good time to talk about our national vlog that's coming out real quick, because I remember you speaking with a card store owner from Indianapolis at the National, and we have our vlog coming out. It might be out by the time this comes out.
Ooh, nice.
But if not, very soon. I'm trying to make it good and, put in the time necessary that people will like to watch it. So
looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. And that same card shop is the one I plan on visiting in Indianapolis, the Indy Card Exchange.
Yeah.
And then my last 2 pickups from my adventure at Cards and Coffee, a Carmelo piece of his sneaker, actually, that he wore.
Oh, that's cooler. I like that better.
Like that. I'm touching it. There it is. Feels cool. Feels like rubber.
Yeah.
And another one, again, a situational buy. I'm going to be in Denver this weekend. My brother-in-law is a card collector like myself, so we're going to hit up some shops. So I picked up a 2014 National Treasures sticker autograph, numbered out of 7, John Elway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Again, I know I'm going to Denver this weekend. I know I'm going to go to a shop. I'll be able to trade this, I would assume, into something that I actually really want.
What does that go for?
Around 200.
Yeah, that's a nice card for 200.
And it feels good to just have new stuff because I got rid of anything I have left at this point is pretty much personal collection. So it's nice to re-up, have some fresh inventory in the mix.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, as you can imagine, I'm on the other side. We turned this into a first take debate show style for this episode because I'm restarting. Oh no, what am I? Relaxing. I'm in relax mode. We went through so many title changes. I can't even.
I know. You do seem nice and relaxed though.
Keep it straight. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And good. the reason why is because I feel like I really went crazy at the National a little bit, with some of the pickups that I got. And also I used almost all my money that I've dedicated to cards. So obviously that's a major factor. But I think if I was once I take a little break from, getting cards like the triple auto 1980 Topps with Bird, Dr. J, and Magic, the considered by most people the rookie card of Magic and Bird until their individual cards came out the next year. But and the Bird 1/1 patch auto, those really stand above. And then I got the dual autograph with Bird and Magic. But I think coming away with these two is really a reason to just take a deep breath. Spent, like $3,000 out there, although traded a lot more. The cousins were talking about how, I had about $10,000 worth of cards that I traded into for 3 cards and only spent $900 of cash. So that was good. I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out, but I feel like the emotional strain in a positive way, but also, a heart pounding, trying to get these deals done, trying to get a big card, $5,000 or, 3,000 to 4,000 on a card, for me to have a card that valuable is a lot. Is a lot for me.
Of course.
So it's I think a part of it, when your emotions and your finances, which are causing those emotions partially to be so tied up in these dealings, and then also to negotiate, make that happen, and feel the coolness, the pride, the, you know, pat yourself on the back, that really went well feelings. I don't feel like I need to jump into it, you know, right back again. But you know, and not that people don't feel good and jump right back in either. That's just my, you know, and I need to sell stuff before I, you know, start to buy.
I was going to ask you if coming off such a high,
yeah,
you know, getting such big time cards and being around all of that, it's
yeah.
almost like coming down from such a high. Naturally, you're gonna, you know, sometimes you have to feel a little bit down. So
Yeah.
just in terms of cards and stuff, do you feel right now like any sort of burnout, or are you content with what you picked up? You content with what you got, and you recognize that you're still going to be a part of this card game. You just need to take a week to soak it all in and reflect and finish editing our vlog.
Right. Yes. Yes. And also, you know, I'm editing. I'm starting a new job, you know, just in like 3 weeks to a month here. So those are all major factors in the general thing. But it's not like I'm burned out. It's more like I feel like I performed really well in the national championship game, and now I can take a couple months off, like a summer break before the semester starts again.
Right. Like when the Cavaliers won the championship, J.R. Smith partied for what? Forever.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and by the way, he has a great, I just finished watching it. Speaking of J.R. Smith, he has a great documentary on Amazon Prime about when he was golfing.
mm-hmm.
And it's really deep and thoughtful and very interesting at an HBCU, you know, to have that pride in your culture and the traditions and everything. I thought it was really, definitely a different side of him.
Recently a college golfer.
Right.
I feel like you need a little J.R. Smith in your PC as another former college golfer yourself.
Yeah. You know, that's not a bad idea. I do like J.R. I was actually thinking about that while watching it. I was like, could I do a J.R. Smith PC? But don't you have that gold? You had that gold J.R. Smith the same year as my David Lee.
Sold.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, that could have been the start.
I know. If it was in a Knicks uniform, I would have kept it, but it's not.
I got a different initial guy, though, JJ Redick instead of JR. Different. You know what I mean?
That's like my good friend JJ.
Yeah.
So that was on Tuesday is when I went to the card shop. And then Wednesday, I met a buddy of mine out on Long Island, Al, NYC Hoops Collector on Instagram. He's the one that drove me to National last year. And he does grading, you know, like there's grading services and stuff. But he just kind of does it for close friends. So I told him the situation. The card I got from National, the Mbappe, the 2018 Prism Blue in a 9.5. And someone gave me the advice.
So that's the rookie. That's the rookie numbered at a 199, right?
Yeah, very good. The color match and everything. And it's in a BGS 9.5. Great looking card. And someone who I was talking to at National said, you know, this is a pretty good chance at a crossover. A Jamal Crawford type of crossover, if you will.
Oh, a J crossover.
Yeah. So I met Al out on Long Island. We got lunch. It was really nice. I gave him a couple lower end cards to grade. We went through the Mbappe, kind of talked about which service level we're going to send it in, whether you're going to crack it or leave it as is. So he took care of the dirty work for me. The card is now on its way to PSA, and hopefully we get a nice little crossover into a PSA 10.
Right, because you were mentioning before that's going to double the value, right?
Exactly.
So if that does happen, of course. But did you crack it or did you leave it in?
Left it in as a way to hedge myself, because if I cracked it and graded it and it got a 9, I'm taking a big loss.
Right.
If I leave it as is and it doesn't cross and it stays as the 9.5, I salvage myself a little bit. So there's definitely some decision making that went into this one. But coincidentally enough, when I was walking to the train to Long Island, right past me walks the owner of Alex's MVP, which is the card shop 10 blocks from me.
Okay.
I just happened to pass him on the street and we said hello. I went into his shop the next day. That was my third local card shop of the week. But what was fun was I got to meet hobby and like cards. These crazy stories just kind of form. So me and Al out on Long Island, we're getting lunch. I'm giving him my cards to grade, and he says, "Well, you want to hit up a local card shop?" I said, "Well, if we're here for the day, we might as well." So we went to A&S Sports Cards, which is in Westbury on Long Island.
Okay.
A&S was one of my childhood card shops growing up. I hadn't been there in about 13 years. The last time I was at this card shop, A&S Sports Cards in Westbury, was 2010. Summer going into freshman year of college. I was working a construction job, and I went to that card shop on my lunch break. I got a box of 2009 Bowman 48 basketball. I pulled a Magic Johnson autograph. I still have it to this day. That was 13 years ago. That was the last time I went to the shop. So it was awesome going in there just last week and getting to just look around a little bit.
Wow. And, what did that feel like? So many years, you're talking now, I don't want to date you, but I mean, 17 years later,
pretty nuts.
What was that like to experience that?
It was nice talking to the owner because when I would go to the local card shop shows on Long Island, I would always get wax from the same guy, the owner of the shop, Seymour. Mm-hmm. So to see him, even though he didn't remember me, just to talk to him, reminisce a little bit, and obviously just look through some bargain bins was a great time.
Yeah. Nice.
So didn't pick up anything too crazy, but Alyssa Nair, who's the goalie of the U.S. women's national team, she's a stud. Allen and Ginter jersey card.
Yeah, she did her job.
She did.
She did her job.
She did her job. And I just thought this was cool. Lyle Collins, who's now on the Bengals, but he's a lineman. Nice, big, chunky, game-worn patch.
Oh, game-worn. Wow.
Game-worn, I know. Out of 37. So, yeah, just fun to pick up a few things here and there. Nothing too expensive.
Yeah. Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's about the experience, not always making a big deal.
So got to hang out with a good hobby friend for the day, get some lunch, go to a shop, give him some cards to grade. Just a positive experience overall.
Yeah. Speaking of positive experiences, when I was listening to the Cousins Collectibles podcast, I wanted to just bring this up because it's kind of an afterthought coming out of National. And Cousin Tony asked a great question to Cousin Oz. And he said, you're kind of a shy guy. So when you go up to people who are dealers at the National, you're trying to strike up a deal. Where is that shyness coming from? Like, where is that, or that trepidation coming from when you're
good word.
Yeah. Their words. I mean, that's how they were setting it up. And I was like, that is such a great question because everybody goes through that, whether it's in a trade, whether it's with a dealer trying to buy a card, whatever situation you're in. And I just thought that was a great question. And the way Oz answered it so openly and honestly, I feel like that's the type of thing that a podcast platform gives you an opportunity to discuss, and that we want to also discuss, similar topics. So, and basically what came out of, where does that trepidation come from for Oz was that, just believing in your cards, believing in your own ability, having confidence. And he was sometimes saying that he, doesn't have a certain level of confidence in those deals, in those situations, in those negotiations, which I think is, everybody's concern to a different degree. And what they came out of it with a solution was just putting yourself in the situations more often. And, because it's uncomfortable, it's not easy, and I've gotten carried away by the excitement of the moment and not made the smartest decisions in those times too. Like at Burbank, when I traded the Tiger for the two birds, the Tiger rookie auto in a BGS 9.5 for the flawless bird that I got and the impeccable bird that I got. That was a 1-of-1 that I then traded for my new flawless 1-of-1 bird at the National. But I was so excited in that situation that I overvalued the cards that I wanted because I was so juiced and it was affecting my thinking power.
Are you trying to tell me that you're reflecting on that Tiger Bird trade with a little, maybe not regret, but you would have done it a little differently?
Yeah. Yeah.
It all worked out in the end though, right? Because you were able to use that bird to get the new one. But
yes,
I get what you're saying. So like
I lost $1,000 of value in that trade, because when I traded into it at $3K and I traded out of it at 2K. But thankfully, because I had that Trevor Lawrence XRC rookie auto numbered out of 99 that I had $1,000 profit in, I said, if I pair these two together, this major win and this major loss, I'll come out even.
Even Stevens.
So I got myself out of it, but it took a while. I'm not going to lie. I was like, sometimes thinking about this card, and I was like, how am I going to get out of this? Because I think I'm into it high.
Well, and sometimes if you the payoff of patience leads to digging yourself out of a hole.
Oh my gosh, was that 2 titles back to back that we've done?
Maybe.
When you're gifted, you're just gifted.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people who are new listeners to the podcast, what I like is that if you listen to any of our episodes at any time, I think it's still timely.
Yeah.
I stand by that.
That's a good point. But that's what I wanted to put out there in a response to that great question and great answer by the cousins, was that because they mentioned me, in there, and they're like, oh, and then Carmine's over here doing deals for a flawless 1-of-1 bird and a triple auto, Magic Bird and Dr. J, 1980. And, they're like, it seems easy, I guess, to them that I was it, which is not like the best thing in the world, but I mean, these were 2 cards I was really going after. And so they're kind of saying that they're impressed, and which I appreciate, but it's like it's not like there's no emotions that come along with that just because you're able to make it happen. Like the way, like, you are so much more, engaging with the dealers than I am. I'm much more shy from what I noticed. I like to look, I'll strike up a conversation if I really like something, but that doesn't mean you can't get a deal done just because your personality is a little bit different, Yeah. So,
well, I can relate to that. I think I'm situationally introverted. So like if I'm around some people who maybe like I feel like I want to take a step back, or I can't really carry this conversation, I kind of just sit back and I observe and I listen. But when I find myself in a situation where I'm extremely comfortable, like in the classroom in front of my students, or on the soccer field coaching my teams, or with my cards making a trade, because I'm just, this isn't me like trying to say like I'm a know-it-all. I've been collecting cards for 25 years. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I know my collection. I know my collection so well. I know the values. I know the math and everything. That all I have to do is combine the knowledge that I already have with the people skills that I practice every single day, and I've created this environment where I am extremely comfortable. Yeah. That's not me all the time in life, but in those moments when I'm when I'm like engaging with a dealer, I've already made a little bit of conversation. I got my eye on the prize and I know what I have. It's just comfortable for me personally.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. And it's great. It's great to have a space where you can feel that comfort, but it's only from knowing that you have the ability to do it. And you wouldn't know that unless you did it. So it's kind of like a step-by-step, slow progression. And,
was this on the faction?
Not that we've arrived. Yes, the faction. Okay. Shane, sports card nobody, which was great to see him.
Oh, funny tidbit about Shane. So, do you know at the National there was the sports card investor booth had their kids corner?
Yes.
Where it was just a bunch of kids on the floor. At one point during National, I had to walk right through there. And on the floor, it's kid. Boom, there's Shane just sitting right in the middle of it. I'm like, oh, Shane.
Wow.
How's kids trade day going?
Was he making deals, or what was he doing?
You know what? In hindsight,
I know his nephew. He was talking about his nephew.
I know. I realized at this is the very moment in time that I'm realizing he was probably, hopefully, with his nephew.
Right.
But to just see Shane in the middle of the floor with a bunch of people was very funny. But it was great to meet Shane after already only speaking to him virtually. Great guy, very passionate about wrestling, and so
yes.
To see him in person.
What if he was like talking about on his podcast? He's like, oh, look at all these great deals I got trading at the sports card. No, I know. From 2 seconds of talking to Shane, he would never be fleecing kids. That's for sure. At a trade night.
That was great that he was with his nephew. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. And then, he had some funny stories on the faction about going out to eat and the dress code and stuff like that. It's a good episode. And that was the same episode that the cousins mentioned, this stuff too. So shout out to those three guys.
That's good stuff.
For sure. So
I heard people say at National they felt uncomfortable in the big crowds, trying to maneuver around people. And I'm, I guess, spoiled in the sense that I live in New York City and that's just every single day for me. Yeah. But I could totally understand not feeling comfortable engaging in dealers, feeling a little socially awkward walking around in these big crowds. I get it. I definitely get it. So that's why, I don't know, I try to just make conversation with people when we go to shows and whatnot.
Yeah. And isn't it great when I feel like, we'll go on from this topic in a second, but I just think it's so important to talk about these emotions that go along with the hobby too. And I just feel like when you find somebody who has a card that you like, that you're really trying to go after, and they have a understanding demeanor, and you're understanding of them, and you see where they're coming from, and you're speaking about it in a friendly, understanding way during your deal, and nobody's trying to get one over on the person. It's surprisingly easy to make deals, I think. And I think it's just like one of the guys that Oz dealt with, he was mentioning a dealer that, wasn't easiest to work with. But at the end of the day, if you take out cards that you're trying to trade, right, which I ended up doing later in the show and actually end up working out. And cousin Oz and Tony were talking about how you might feel bad if somebody rejects your cards. I can. It takes me two hands to name the number of times that somebody said, "Nah, I'm not interested in." None of that's for me. It was probably 10 times somebody said that to me at the show.
Nice,
but that's fine. I don't. At the end of the day, I think of it like exactly part of the game.
It's hate the game. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
Thank you.
Boom. Is that what you're gonna say? Did I take that from you?
No, but that ties in perfectly with our re-up attitude that we want to have for our episode title. But I think that it's like you said, it's part of the game, or in other words, in the NBA, when somebody gets traded or something like that, it's business. It's not personal.
Right.
So trying to think of it like that, even though it's much easier said than done, because you're like, I love these cards. It's almost like a wardrobe, like it's your taste when you're trying to trade stuff, Yeah. But
exactly. No, it's well said.
Yeah.
Very well said. You met Andrew, who works for Slab Stocks.
Yes.
St. Croix Cards.
Oh, great guy. One of the nicest guys you could meet.
One of the nicest guys. And then cherry on top, he sends me a gift through the mail that arrived yesterday. He said, check your mail. You got something coming for you. And
no way.
He just completely surprised me with the 2022 National Treasures FIFA Road to World Cup Weston McKinney 1/1 printing plate.
What? Wow.
Just showed up in my mailbox. I mean, you want to talk about the type of card that I probably would make a play for anyway if I saw it. And boom, Weston McKinney 1/1. This is a forever PC card.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a nice guy. And he's going to be in our national vlog, but he's going to be in part 2 though. Nice. I talked to him after you left to ask him about his mentality toward being so nice to everybody, because this guy's niceness and encouragement is like flooring.
You can't fake it. You can't fake being that nice for 4 days. Maybe one day, but he's genuine.
His positive attitude, that flame will never be extinguished. So that's why I was like, I got to talk to him. So thankfully he gave a great message to the hobby on the vlog. But, Craig, some were saying that I am relaxing per the title. But I just got a PSA submission back. I was supposed to get this PSA submission before the National. But unfortunately, I think they had a lot of delays because of people trying to submit a lot of cards and get them back before the National, exactly what I was doing. So, I'm not too upset about it, but I would have liked to have this one to trade. This Joe Burrow select rookie premier level tie-dye numbered out of 25. I submitted it. It got a PSA 8, which I was hoping for a 9. But wasn't the cleanest. But this would be something that I feel like would move instantly
Easy.
in a trade, or this is liquid cardboard right here. And at a $500 or so value, maybe more. I haven't checked the comp since I got it like 3 months ago. But I would have liked to have that. But now I have a guy to bet on during the football season or trade now.
Did you, for this submission, by the way, did you do a blind reveal or did you check the grades beforehand?
No, I did a blind review.
Good for you. Good for you. I don't have that in me. No chance.
Well, I submitted it with my buddy Jack from Grants Pass, Oregon. Shout out to the Cavemen. That's their high school mascot.
Nice.
There's only like 6 cavemen in the high school system in the country. I did a story on the Grants Pass Cavemen. They never surrender is their phrase.
Okay.
But anyway,
good for them.
Anyway, so Jack didn't surrender when he was trying to help me get these grades back. He wouldn't. Well, I asked him. I said, "Listen, don't tell me. Don't reveal them. Don't tell me what I got." He's like, "I got you. I got you." So I got him in the mail, and my heart was pounding. Honestly, which is part of the fun of it,
Sure.
which made me less upset because it was so exciting. But the other one that I got back, I got 3 back in total.
Oh.
This Dwayne Wade rookie jambalaya PSA 8, which I was surprised. The centering's great. The surface looked really nice. The back is...
The corners look pristine.
I mean, it's guaranteed 10 corners on these at Beckett. Guaranteed. No, just kidding. But usually you're right. I know that's your theory. I know that's your theory. But an 8 is still pretty good because these cards are so fragile. Like the way the back is, the border really gets whitened very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So to get an 8 in this, I'm not mad about it. I would have liked a 9.
It's nice to have it slabbed up.
Yeah, true. It's a great rookie jambalaya, D Wade.
Iconic. If we're talking,
come on,
so the most iconic inserts ever. I mean, jambalaya is right up there.
Yeah. So got that raw, and it looked great. I still think it's a 9, but anyway, it's nicer than some 8.5s I've seen at Beckett. So this is the final one. You might be surprised about this grade. It was higher than I thought. The Patrick Ewing Ultimate Signatures Auto 0304, the set I'm eventually hoping to complete little by little.
Very nice.
And it got a PSA 9.
We'll take that all day. That's so nice.
For those, that's nice.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing autographs are worth way more than I anticipated. I guess he just doesn't sign a lot.
No, he hardly ever signs. He only has a few. He only has a few autographs. I had one that I traded for the Magic and Bird duel at a $500 value.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
that's fun.
Authentic.
It's fun to get some fresh ammo back. I mean, how much would that really have affected your decision making at National? I don't know, but at least you have some fresh cards to play with.
Yeah, and I didn't have to do anything to get them. I just had to wait.
Very nice.
So
yeah, I have a couple. I feel like I've been hogging the pickups, but I have a couple more that I shared with you already. But please. This was 2013-14 Panini Intrigue. This is when I went to the card shop that's 10 minutes from me. 10-minute walk. Alex's MVP. And I picked up a bunch of patches. This was that Deron Williams, Chris Paul, Raymond Felton, triple game-worn patch out of 25.
Raymond Felton on the Knicks is the key.
Yes, not quite enough Knicks-ish for me to keep.
Right.
But it's a cool one to have. And again, situational buying.
Yes.
I got the John Elway because I'm going to Denver, which will go nicely with this Denver Nuggets triple game-worn patch.
That is cool.
25. Kenneth Faried, Gallinari, Ty Lawson. So I'll go to a card shop. Hopefully in Denver, there's not a big New York Knicks, fan crowd there. So you never know. I might find a cool PC card. Now I have a couple Denver cards to trade for it. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And, don't forget, Darren Williams for a few years there was one of the best point guards in the league.
Stephen A. Smith said that.
No, but that's true. That is a fact for a few years there with Carlos Boozer in Utah.
Yep.
And then he was the main guy on the Brooklyn Nets, but then he kind of, got a little bit older. But
that Nets team, all-time on-paper team.
Yeah. Was that Garnett,
Pierce, Brooke Lopez, Joe Johnson, Deron Williams.
Yeah.
All-time on-paper team. What if?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, too much scoring. Too many guys who need the ball.
Mm-hmm. And the Nets traded the house for that.
Yeah. We'll see
So,
what happens with the Warriors, because the Warriors are kind of loading up in that way. I mean, not the Warriors, the Suns. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Basketball season starting soon. I'm excited. But
I know. It always shocks me how quick it comes. Football, and then a month and a half after basketball.
I have one speculative play that I made.
Okay.
Also, when I went to the card shop near me, this card caught my eye. Kang In Lee. He is a South Korean midfielder.
Okay.
Who got signed by PSG.
I didn't realize this was going to be a soccer speculation. I was thinking rookie football quarterback.
And this was solely, I thought it was a good deal. I'm going to try to sell to make profit. It was a flip play.
Okay.
Right, to try to fund my hobby. And this is his 2019-2020 Topps Chrome Sapphire. The yellow refractor out of 99. It's a rookie card. And the most recent raw sale did like $350, and they had a price tag for $150. So I couldn't really turn that down. But the fun part about it is I don't know if he's going to start, but PSG has their first game of the season on Saturday. And this is ending on auction Sunday night on eBay. And it already has so many watchers.
Oh, because you put it up. You put your own card up, you're saying.
Oh, yeah. This is on eBay right now.
Okay.
And people
have bid on it.
The dice. If I take a loss, it was a learning lesson. Hopefully,
good for you. But you usually don't. That's usually where you shine with the Mbappe and what was the other auction you had ending? Perfect timing.
Steph Curry. That helped me pay for my wife's 1-year anniversary gift.
See?
Yeah.
And so thoughtful with the money. Thoughtful with the move to make that money, and then thoughtful with the money.
Look, am I making a point to say that because my wife's in the background? Maybe. But besides the point.
It sounds like you're trying to re-up.
But that's all I got for you. That's all I got. That's all my pickups.
That's great. Solid, bro.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I think that is a solid episode right there. Some thoughts, some card moves. The vlog coming soon. We got
can't wait for that.
Some things that are in the works, and all the Wolfpack members are going to be featured heavily in the vlogs. I didn't know if they knew that they were going to be primary characters, but me and you are in it a lot, obviously, but
we're all protagonists.
Yes. For the most part.
Like that, the English literary word right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, bro. All right. Well, we'll keep figuring out how we're gonna relax. I keep thinking of words that are similar to it, and or re-up while we wait for the next episode.
Okay. Till next time.
All right, bro.
Peace.